Hey guys, good Tuesday evening. I got off at 5 and I stayed around a little bit to talk to the supervisor so I get more acquainted with the bus stop numbers. But this evening I am having crab legs, yes, and I have my butter right here, and I have a Coke, a cola. So I just wanted to come and talk a minute before I could really get started. You see, I got on my gloves. Usually I don't do it, but I'm just doing it. But everything's been going well. It's Tuesday, and I'm scheduled to leave on Saturday. So I'm getting excited. We'll see if all goes well. I don't expect to be extended, but we'll see what happens. Last time I think they asked me on Wednesday, I think they asked me on Wednesday last week. Wednesday or Thursday, they asked to extend. So we'll see. But I just wanted to come on and say, hey, thanks to those who were asking about me for Sunday. That was my fault, Out there it was hot. I don't know what the temperature was, but they had, that was my first time to the HBCU Battle of the Bands and the football game. Everything was new. So remember I told you I did a video. I want to do new things this year, like all new things. So I think they didn't do right about the ticket thing, and that's a lot of people had to stand in line. If you bought your ticket with Eventbrite or Everbright or something like that, even though you had that, you had to go to Will Call and actually get the ticket so that they could scan it. That was terrible, y'all. That was terrible. That line was out of control. It was only in one place, one gate. I don't know how many windows they had open. And then it seemed like they only had like 2 people at the gate or something. So it was just a lot of people out there. So I think next year they'll probably do better. I think this was their first one there at Jackson State. Maybe they might plan a little bit better as far as that is concerned. But I do want to tell a story real quick. I ain't gonna be long. On Saturday, while I was at the game, somebody had already told me about the Battle of the Bands. But Saturday, when I got there to the game, I went to the ticket booth and I asked the lady, I said, well, how can I get tickets for tomorrow's event? Will you be here? She said, oh no, we're just here for today, which was the game. So when I got there for let me see, did I ask that? I asked that the day of the game because I got my ticket for the game the day before. Okay, yes. So while I was at the game, I was sitting there and I asked the young lady, I said, well, do you know anything about tomorrow's event? And she said, no, I don't know. But a guy came and had the little flyer in his hand. And he asked me, he said, are you coming to the Battle of the Bands? And I said, well, I need to get a ticket. And he said, well, how many tickets do you need? And I just said one. He said, well, I could sell you a ticket for $20. That way you don't have to get all the fees and stuff, because he said you go to HBC, blah, 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 and buy it online. I was like, okay, cool. So I bought the ticket, $20. And he stayed right there. He said his name was Alex Davis and that he was something with the HBCU something. I don't know. He told me his title, but I can't remember. But his name was Alex Davis. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went on home. That was Saturday, right? I went on home and I came to the HBC. I mean to the Battle of the Bands. I went and got a line. Once they opened it up, they had a fan fest from 12 to 6. Band parade at 5:30. The gates was gonna open at 4 for the actual Battle of Bands, but the Battle of Bands wasn't gonna start till 6. But I think they were delayed in everything because buses were pulling up and everything when I got there. And I don't know what time I originally got to the gate, but I got to the gate. And the lady scanned the ticket that the guy sold me, Mr. Alex Davis, sold me. And while she said, oh, that ticket already been scanned. And I'm standing there looking like, what? I just got here. So the guy got my money. It was only $20, but still. And his name is Alex Davis. He is the HBCU something. I found him on Facebook. And I left a message on Facebook too, say why you sell me like a, I don't know. He had a whole, when he gave me the ticket, it looked just like the ticket that I had for the football game. If my hands wasn't in this, because I do have the ticket still, I would show y'all. I might do another post and show you the ticket that he sold me, right? So when that happened, remember those people who had the Eventbrite had to go to will call, which was on a whole nother side, to get a ticket. So I said, okay, let me go over there and buy a ticket. So once I started feeling weak, I don't know what I was feeling, y'all, but I got out that line because I didn't want to pass out or anything like that. And I had been in the line and I didn't, I only had coffee that morning. So I wasn't hungry or thirsty, but I was like, okay, I need some water or something. So I just got out the line. I was up there, but I got out the line. So I ended up buying the ticket online on the HBCU site. And the ticket cost me $40-some, $42 or something like that. And then I went back around the building because that line on the main side, okay, I'm gonna say it's the Jackson State home side. That line was out of control, and it was a lot of people over there, and the wheel call was over there. It was just a mess. So I went back around to the other side where the lady had scanned that original ticket and told me it was already scanned. And then that same lady was at the gate, and I came back and had my phone, and then she said, oh, go right in. But I'm like, sir, why would you do that? I don't know how he did it or what happened, but he had a whole stack of tickets. He told me his name and everything. And then the ticket was no good because the lady said that it had already been scanned. So I don't know, but he got my $20, but it's okay. I had a nice time. I enjoyed myself in my first HBCU Battle of the Bands. And the day before, the Jackson State versus the Hampton game. It was good. So that's all I wanted to say. My little story. Have a